but yeah. These things do come up. No, they come up from time to time. Just say that. Okay. Anyhow, think about it. In terms of what it would cost to, restore things around here. There's almost. So we're now in the laundry room. Now, at the peak, it did something like 3,500 pieces of laundry a day. Sheets, towels, hospital gowns, you name it. So you have two massive industrial washers to handle the load. Over there, you got a wash tub. Over here, you have something that looks like washers, but it's really just a spin cycle. This is called an extractor. It starts to get water out of the laundry after it's been washed. When this place was in operation, you would have had two wash tubs and two extractors to go to two washers. There also was another piece of equipment. Not in this room anymore, but still on the site. It was used to finish the job. It took something like this. Here in the U.S., you would call it, pardon me? Yeah, exactly. In the U.S., they call this suppressor. There's another term for it in the UK that I like much better. It happens to be the same word in German as it is in English. Do either of you know it? The magic word is mangle. Imagine getting your hand put in one of these, you can understand where that name comes from. Yeah. So you put everything through the mangle, and as you suggested, the main thing was it would wring out everything, finish the drying. But more than that, it would press everything flat. That was important because, if you had wrinkles in your sheets or your gowns, you run the risk of bed sores, not something you wanted. So you put everything through, and when it was done, all you had to do was fold it up, and it was ready for use. Now, this room is being preserved in what's called a state of investigation. This we brought back Why not? It's the sort of thing you can do when you're an artist. Just take a little creative license. We don't get to see the general hospital from inside, but we can certainly take a closer look from outside. So let's start doing it. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. If not, we can cover. All right then. Over here is the original General Hospital building, which opened in 1902. You've got two wings. There were two main wards in each wing. Then a whole lot of space in between. Offices, a couple operating rooms, staff housing on the third floor, and then several basic hospital functions were in here as well. For example, an apothecary and a dispensary. Next to it was an administration building, and the maternity ward I mentioned, at least for part of the time, was on the third floor of that building. Then beyond it was an extension, also with two wings and two main wards. And also as we walk in, you should note that what you see here, these originally were all windows. Now most of them have panels in them these days to protect them. Just make a note of the number and the size of the window. I'll have more to say about that later as well. You want to talk about this double building outside? You see the larger one toward the front there? Originally, it was called the office. Carol, we'll talk about this in a moment. Just take it easy with the road. But at that point, the U.S. Coast Guard started a port security unit here on the island. It was based in the now. Each, so if somebody had to go upstairs and couldn't get there under their own power, they would have to take this elevator. It was big enough to fit a gurney, and it had to be, because here is how they brought people over to the contagious disease hospital. On a covered gurney. They referred to this as a hand ambulance in a report from 1917. You'd be loaded on one of these at any time after you showed up on Ellis Island. And if you were wheeled over here and had to go upstairs, that meant you were taking the elevator. It was the only way up. All right, back to the spine. Oh. Well, I didn't hear any hard hats banging. Well done, folks. Nice work. All right. So you'll see the recreation building on your right. So it's a different vantage point on what we saw earlier.